Hi, this is Nettie Reads Too Much. My name's Lynette and I'm bringing you another video. This is my third for BookTube. I'm hopefully doing quite well by now. I'm starting to get the hang of this filming lark anyway. I thought that for this video I would bring you a mini book haul slash what I'm currently reading. I don't make TBRs. I think I said this in my previous video. I don't make TBRs. I'm a random reader. I read what takes my fancy. Other than for the TBR for 2017 I've set myself, I have a randomizer app on my phone and I am using this to select the next book from that pile before I move on and start reading. I'm finding it more successful to read books this way than just scrolling through the list and trying to pick one, because I just spend ages looking at it, not really choosing. This way I have no choice. I have to read the one that comes up. So first off, I'm going to do my book haul. The first book haul, I may have said in my previous videos, I buy a lot of my books on my Kindle. So the first few books that I'm going to show you are on my Kindle. I am hoping that you will be able to see the covers, so we'll go from there. So the first book that I bought, it was a rather cheap book, but it was 5 books in one. It's a series, but the actual book that you get and the title you get is of the main book that it's from. And the first book is actually called, I don't know if you can see that very well, it's called The Dom versus the Virgin. This is a romance novel set in the world of baseball. It's not very, it sounds like it might be a bit of an erotic romance. It's not so erotic. There is some saucy time in there, but it's not prevalent throughout the book. It is more about the story. I have read the first book, I have read the first story, and I did thoroughly enjoy that. I have also read the next two. So this is also on my currently reading pile. I'm about 60% of the way through, just about to start the 4th book of the 5 that are in this little bundle that I've bought. So far they're not too bad. The first book was the best of them. They're an easy read. They're a light read. There's some angst, there's some push and pull between them, but at the end of the story you get a happy ever after. The first book, as I said, was the better of the 3 that I've read so far. I found that with the second and third book, the second book especially, the main male character was... he annoyed me. I don't think he deserved to get what he got in the end. I think he deserved to be on his own for quite a while and end up having to find someone else to love him, to be perfectly honest with you, and I think she could have done better. The third book, the guy is a bit of and for want of a better word, bit of an arse. You know that from meeting him in the previous book. So you expect his character to be behaving in that way because he's not done anything else. However, he does redeem himself. He does take steps to change himself, make himself a better person. So for that, I have found that it's book 2 in the series, it's book 3 in the set. I have found that book 3 was better, so I have turned the page to start reading the next in the series. The next 3 books I've bought are a trilogy. These are it's the A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy by Sarah J. Maas. So I have bought A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and that one doesn't show up quite so well, A Court of Wings and Ruin. Now, I have already read these. I read these, or I didn't read them. I actually listened to them on audiobook, and I did enjoy them. I thoroughly enjoyed the second book. For those of you who may not know, A Court of Thorns and Roses is put as a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I am a big Disney Beauty and the Beast fan, so any retellings of the Beauty and the Beast story I do try to read. I found some good ones, I found some okay ones. A Court of Thorns and Roses was good. I gave it 4 stars. A Court of Mist and Fury, however, I absolutely loved. I have a theory, and I'm hoping I'm not spoiling anything for anybody, but my theory is that the Beast is not Tamlin, the Beast is Rhysand. I've put this to Sarah J. Maas in an email. I've had no response. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. I know people have said that A Court of Mist and Fury is supposed to be a Hades and Persephone retelling. Other than the way Rhysand portrays himself to his people who aren't in his inner circle, I get the Hades reference. However, I don't think that this is Hades and Persephone. I think this is still Beauty and the Beast, and I fully believe that the way Rhysand conducted himself in the first book and in the second book, he is the Beast. Tamlin is not the Beast, especially with how he behaves in book 3. Any Beast character would not behave in the way that he does in this book, whether he ends up with the girl or not. The reason I've bought them is because they are, I enjoyed them. I've read reviews, I've watched reviews, and I think I need to actually read them as well as listen to them. I think maybe I missed points, especially in the third book, that I need to revisit. So at some point I intend to actually read all 3 of those. And the final book on my Kindle haul for this month is again another series of romance books. It's called Enslaved, Bewitch and Unleash by Felicity Heaton. She writes a variety of romance novels. These are vampire based, so paranormal romance, little bit of erotica in there, not too much. Again, it does get saucy, but not so much you get embarrassed by it. This is actually the second box set that she's released. I bought box set 1, 2 and 3 in a previous month. I've read the first book, and eventually I intend to get to the rest of them, and these were for a special price at pre-order. And Felicity Heaton is one of my auto-buy authors this year, so I did pick these up. I haven't started reading them yet. I'm hoping to get to them very soon. So I also belong to a book subscription box, and this month the people who do those boxes were extremely generous, and they sent us 2 books and some goodies instead of just 1 book. I'm hoping that anybody who gets this subscription box, if you can tell which box it is from that description, I apologize if I spoil this for you. It's not my intention. This is going up this video is going up almost 2 weeks after I've received the book, so I'm hoping that anybody who's watching this has received their box by now. Anyway, the first book that came with it this month is, and I'm not sure if you can see that very well, it's a book I have seen around a bit on BookTube currently, and that's One of Us is Lying. It's set in school, and it's the story of 5 teenagers who go into detention, but only 4 leave alive. and it turns out that the fifth, who was murdered, had secrets that he was going to release about the other four, and the story is about who did it. So it's a bit of a mystery, young adult, and I'm hoping to get to this one quite soon because it's quite intriguing. The second book, which was a surprise, it was a mystery book, and I don't think everybody got the same, but I received this book. It says, Welcome to the Deadliest Show on Earth. The book is actually called Showstopper by Hayley Barker, and it's about, I'll read the synopsis to you. The synopsis is, our country has turned its back on inclusion. The descendants of immigrants have been denied status and security and must sell their children to a travelling circus to perform at the mercy of ravenous lions, sabotaged high wires and a demonic ringmaster. The ruling class, the pures, visit the circus as an escape from their structured, safe, high-achieving lives to experience pure entertainment with a brutal, bloodthirsty edge. Ben, the teenage son of a draconian government minister, attends an opening night and falls under the spell of Hoshiko, a tightrope walker and the star attraction. But as he steps beyond the sparkle and spectacle of the circus to reveal the horrors that lurk beneath, can he find the courage to resist, to rebel, to help end the cruelty and the carnage? And it's described as a dazzling, high-octane debut filled with death-defying acrobatics, circus crowds with an appetite for disaster, and two teenagers who fall in love as they struggle to escape the shackles of their very different lives. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I think it sounds absolutely fabulous. I'm not sure if it is actually out on yet, because it does say that this is a proof copy from June 2017, so I'm not sure if it's released. I haven't actually researched that. I do apologise. So if anybody finds it intriguing, go look for it, see if you can find it. Right, now on to what I'm currently reading. So as I've said, I'm currently reading the Dom vs. the Virgin set. I'm also reading, have started reading on my Kindle, Safehaven by Nicholas Sparks. Again, it's a romance novel. I think there might be a bit of mystery involved in it. I've only had one Nicholas Sparks novel before, and that was Dear John. I finished listening to that on audiobook recently. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his writing style. Safehaven is a book I bought a couple of years ago, and I have actually picked that one up to read. It's on my 2017 TBR, so it is one of my books towards my goals. Praise me, praise me. Also from the Book Box Club, this was from April, so everybody should know that they've got this one by now. I have Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. Again, it's a young adult fiction fantasy novel set in a world of magic. It's about a 16-year-old boy whose magic hasn't manifested for whatever reason, and how and his story and what happens to him from there. I am 144 pages in, just about to start chapter 17. I've been reading it since I received it in April. I am thoroughly enjoying it, and it does seem like a really good read. I'm hoping to get on and finish that before the next box comes out in mid-July, but I also want to try and read the books that came out in June as well before that book box arrives. The final book on my TBR for currently reading is Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. When I listened to the A Court of Thorns and Roses, I enjoyed it. I saw mixed reviews on her Throne of Glass series, so I decided that instead of purchasing that, because I didn't know whether I would like it or not, I decided that I would go to the library and see if I could get them from there. Was pleasantly surprised, which is why I'm enjoying getting books from the library again. So this is the third book in the Throne of Glass series. I won't give you a description in case anybody out there hasn't read it yet, because it may spoil anything that happens in the previous 2 books. I am enjoying this series. I'm not very far into this book yet. I'm only 77 pages in, but I am going to continue reading it, and I am going to get the Queen of Shadows, which is book 4, on reserve with my library, so that I can go and pick that up and have it ready to read once I've finished reading this one, because I don't think it's going to take me too much longer to get through it. It's a bit of a hunker. It's a 400-page book. In fact, it's more than that. It's a 500-page book. So I'm hoping to get through this fairly reasonably, and be on to the next one, hopefully before the end of next week. So that's all the books that I've bought this month and started reading. I have finished some books this month. I won't go into these here. I might make a separate video for those. As you can probably tell, I'm not great at describing books at the moment, and I am working on how well I review books. So that may develop as time goes on. I may make a "this is what I've read in June" video later on in July. Thank you again for watching. Thank you again for the welcome to BookTube, and I will see you again next time. Bye!